our next story, which is absolutely hilarious, and that is RFK Jr.'s wife absolutely owns The View. Why I guess they thought they were going to get themselves a little leftist sympathizer who was just going to kowtow. Oh no, Cheryl Hines went on The View and defended her husband. This is absolutely glorious. You've got to check this out. While I set this up, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know you're here in the comments. I really appreciate everybody rolling up. But let's check out Cheryl Hines as she appeared on The View. I don't think she's going to be invited back.
Spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with the utmost respect.
Some of it's good and some of it's not. That's the point.
Listen, we all have different views here.
Yes.
And when you say, misinformation, disinformation, we could go back to COVID when...
He's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
Please.
When Fauci were saying when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID. It will stop COVID. And that was disinformation, misinformation.
We were also still learning about it. It was a novel virus we've never encountered before.
Right.
Because now the doctors will acknowledge that
and Dr. Fauci has a medical degree.
At the time, they were censoring Bobby because Bobby said, where's the science to show us this? And there wasn't any. But people attacked him and said, you're wrong. So it's like, let's take a step back. I know that's your opinion, and that's okay.
Welcome back to Courageous Media. Yes, so we've got Cheryl Hines on The View. And like I said, I don't know why they invited her. I guess they figured they were going to get a different type of show. But, and this is why The View never invites conservatives or even moderates on their panel, because they get absolutely destroyed. They get shown to be the utterly partisan propagandist morons that they are. They are low IQ individuals on this show. It is absolutely amazing. Cheryl just dismantled them, one argument after another. It's absolutely awesome. So now we're going to dive in. We've got a segment where they start to talk about the fact that RFK is not qualified to be HHS Secretary. Now realize that in all of this, Dr. Mengele / Fauci was not HHS Secretary. He was director of NIAID and the National Institutes of Health and that sort of thing. The HHS Secretary was a political appointee, and they're not going to want to hear that. So let's dive in, because they actually stop the tape. They basically say, no, we're going to break for commercial, hoping that they can get out of this. But it comes right back around. So you've got to see this. This is absolutely amazing stuff. Please let me know you're here in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. So check out this. It's a little bit longer clip, but we've got Cheryl once again defending her husband. This is great stuff against the cackling hens on The View.
When you say that they are pro-vaccine, it seems as though Bobby and Trump are casting doubt on the efficacy of the vaccine, which makes Americans very nervous.
Which the vaccine was not efficacious at all. The vaccine was a complete and utter fraud by the pharmaceutical companies. It was interesting in that first clip where they talked about, she's literally said, hey, Fauci's the one who said, if you take the vaccine, you can't transmit COVID, you can't get COVID, it won't get serious. And all of that was a lie. It was an absolute fraudulent lie. And you got the cackling hens on the view going, well, we didn't really know anything back then, making apologies for these absolute corrupt bureaucrats. It's absolutely amazing. All right, let's keep going.
So that's the problem that we're having.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. I understand that. And it's interesting because I don't know if you saw 60 Minutes just did a piece about the vaccine injury compensation program. Yeah. So people that have had vaccine injuries can be compensated if they can prove it. And they have paid out $5.4 billion for vaccine injuries. So my question is, can we do better? Is
that all vaccines or just the COVID vaccine?
It's all vaccines.
It's all vaccines.
As far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay.
And that amount is probably low by a factor of 100. What should have been paid out? Remember that the vaccine injury compensation program, vaccine injury compensation, like it's VICAP is what they call it. But basically, the vaccine injury program was instituted by the federal government when they granted the pharmaceutical companies blanket immunity from lawsuit, from any type of liability for issues with vaccines. Before this, the pharmaceutical companies were liable for problems with vaccines, which means they tested them 3 ways from Sunday: in, out, sideways, up, down. They did clinical trials over and over again. And it took a long time to get a vaccine out. It was not a fast process. But those vaccines, when I was a kid, the 5 vaccines we were getting, nobody was getting autism. Nobody was having major vaccine issues. It was the rare person. But now that we've got the vaccine injury program, now that we've got basically, fast, warp speed drug trials, now you've got vaccines that are absolutely causing problems. You've got drugs that are absolutely causing problems. Hence, we've got a 10,000% increase in the rate of autism, which RFK has been talking about. Things like Tylenol during pregnancy, all sorts of issues. But let's keep going.
But so the question is, yes to vaccines. Yes, they are important, and they are an important part of our healthcare. Can we do better? Can we make them safer? Can we make them, can we listen to parents who say, my child got the vaccine and changed, and stopped hitting markers, stopped developing the way they were developing? Can we listen to people when they say that instead of saying, you're crazy?
I agree with that.
Oh, The View can't listen. No, they don't want to listen to anybody because they are beholden to the pharmaceutical companies, and they are all in with the leftist, we control you, every aspect of you. We will tell you what to do, what you can and can't do, authoritarian mantra of the socialist paradigm. That's exactly who these people are. It is absolutely egregious. Now, I love the fact that she owned them there. And this was not the clip I originally told you. Now we're going to get into the clip where they tried to lambaste her husband for not being qualified to be HHS Secretary. And I love what Cheryl Hines said. And this is where they try, Whoopi Goldberg tries to break for commercial real fast, but it doesn't work because it comes right back around. So check this one out. This is absolutely awesome, because this is where Cheryl Hines really owns these knuckleheads, the cackling hens on The View. Here we go.
Your husband, when he announced basically that he believed he found some causal links between autism and Tylenol, it created a lot of panic in women who were being told by their OBGYNs who look at them that Tylenol, if necessary to treat pain during pregnancy, is safe. What would you say, and I know you're not a medical professional, but to women who now feel anxious and nervous because their doctor's telling them one thing, but the top public health professional is telling them something very different?
Well, they said, consult your doctor before taking it. That's what they were saying, and that holds.
I guarantee you there's not a doctor running around saying, RFK's wrong. Here, take as much Tylenol as you want during pregnancy. I can tell you that's absolutely not the case, because acetaminophen is limited in use even when you have things like surgery. If anybody's ever gotten surgery and they get prescribed pain medication like hydrocodone, which is codeine or some other pretty strong narcotic. It could be codeine, it could be oxy, it could be something else, morphine, coupled with acetaminophen, coupled with Tylenol, the base drug of Tylenol. And you are told you can only take, if it's 500 milligrams of acetaminophen in that the type of codone tablet, because the hydrocodone I had was 500 milligrams of acetaminophen, and I believe it was oxy after that. You could only take like 6 of them in a 24-hour period. Why? Not because you couldn't take too much oxy. No, because you couldn't take too much acetaminophen. It would damage your heart. It would damage other things. It was acetaminophen that was the problem. Let's keep going.
So I agree. Listen, I've been pregnant. I understand. It's stressful being pregnant, I found, because you're so concerned with everything. I didn't drink caffeine when I was pregnant. So to say, hey, consult your doctor before you take this, I agree with that. And I think that's okay for moms to hear.
Cheryl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
all right.
I am, this is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that, but go ahead. But here's what we're talking about.
I do want to say, he's not a doctor, and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's talking, oftentimes when he is speaking not with the best information that we can get because, yeah, we could do a lot better with health.
Not with the best information we can get. He sits atop of the HHS, you blithering moron. He has all of the information. He has every bit of the information at his fingertips. He can call, there's like 700,000 employees in HHS. He can call any one or a number of them and say, get me the data on X. Get me all of the data, compile the data, summarize the data. He's got more information by droves than you've ever had. This is nonsense
stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause and are you able to say, that might not actually be so? Because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a science background.
There have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest,
one of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But
So
the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have had a science background.
Wait, don't
which
do
our husband
anything
doesn't
else.
have
Don't say anything else yet.
Because
we have to take a break.
your husband.
Don't say anything else. We have to take a break because you're about to say something, Sunny Hostin, which is utterly stupid and imbecilic. You're about to show the fact that you are a low IQ moron. This is absolutely great. So, but they come back to it. Whoopi Goldberg tries to get her out. Now, I'm surprised they didn't do hey, we have to read a legal statement like they were doing back when they had to, every time they talked about Pete Hegseth or JD Vance, they basically got owned by their corporate overlords saying, you got to issue a legal statement or we're going to get sued. Because they're spouting nonsense facts and Cheryl Hines calls them out on it. I love it. It came right back around. And here we go, because Sunny Hostin jumps right back in. Utterly low IQ Sunny Hostin. Here we go.
Your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history.
I do not.
I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think that he
possible?
Is less qualified.
He has spent his career studying toxins, studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous.
In other words, I don't like what he says, so he's not qualified. Wrong, you ridiculous woman. First of all, let's look back at previous HHS secretaries. Biden's HHS secretary was nothing more than a political appointee and a lawyer. Obama's HHS secretary was an economist. None of them had any medical background whatsoever. In fact, because of all of his work suing large corporations, especially pharmaceutical and food corporations, over toxic effects and medical implications, I would say RFK is the most qualified HHS secretary we've had in dozens of years. But Sunny Hostin doesn't know that because Sunny Hostin, again, is a low IQ propagandist who doesn't know what she's talking about. HHS secretaries have not been doctors. Only 3 of them in history that I know of have been doctors. And so most HHS secretaries they're all political appointees by definition, but almost all of them are either economists or lawyers, or they're nobodies. RFK Jr. has at least worked in this field. He has seen the effects of corporate corruption on our health for decades. Give him that. And I love the fact that Cheryl Hines just absolutely owned her. Oh, he's less qualified than an economist. Whoopi Goldberg tried to get her out of it, and Sunny Hostin just jumped right back into the deep end of the pool, showing how dumb she is. So Hey, really appreciate everybody rolling up. I love it when people own The View because The View are just low IQ cackling hens.